Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. So what I have here is a kit that I put together for the beginning blood magician. So when I say beginning, I mean that there isn't a book in here that will tell you exactly how to do everything, but there are the materials that you need in order to make blood sigils, in order to basically have what you need at the beginning of your path of blood magic, or maybe even other forms of magic feed into the materials that are present in this kit. It definitely has a lot of potential, and I put it together for a friend with the hopes that I would be able to give it to him, but it didn't work out. So now I have this beginning blood magician's kit that I put together, and I'll eventually give it to somebody who it's supposed to be given to. Though the original person I was going to give it to, that didn't work out. So what we have here is obviously a wooden box, and there's a lot of skull stickers on it, as you can see. It's very much to do with I think it was a sorceress Cagliostro that said once blood leaves your body, it becomes necromantic magic, which that kind of hints at here, though I'm not really sure if I agree with that. Blood magic being necromantic in nature, it can be understood that way, but at the same time, it's still very alive if you're using it, in the moment. You're not saving the blood. Very alive because it is coming directly from you and is extension of you in the moment that you make either the cut or you make a prick on your finger, and then you cast your will depending on what you're trying to do. So what I have here is a 7-day candle. You can definitely prick your finger and put some blood in there and create an intention. You can cast a spell, a simple candle magic spell, by pricking your finger, putting your blood on the top of it, anointing it, if you will, and basically saying what you want to come about. Usually that helps. What usually helps is a sigil as well, but just having some of your blood in a candle and saying, I want I want this security. I want to be protected in this way. I want to become more willful in my actions. And you putting that candle with your blood on it on your altar, on your shrine, and then you kind of stare at the flame, you meditate on it for a little bit, and then you let it burn. That is simple magic, but it's also very effective magic. So a couple tea candles, you can do very similar things with your blood with that. Once more association to the finality of our practice. You're going to have those scars. You're never going to get that bit of your sacred elixir back. It is a sacrifice. So be certain as to what you want to put your sacred elixir, your blood, into. And these skulls are kind of a reminder that not only do you have, you can replenish blood. Don't get me wrong, you can replenish blood, but the thing is, when you attach prana to it and energy, when you attach a certain amount of energetic expulsion to, with your blood, then it becomes you're drawing upon your inner energy, your inner prana, which there is a limited amount. So if you know how to fill your blood with energy and then also set your intention, then it's going to be more effective. But also remember, you are going to lose some of the energy, and there's a cap, and there's not really a cap in your blood per se, but there's a cap on the amount of energy you have in one life. So what I have in here, which I don't really have to take out because everybody knows what a dice looks like, I have a red dice in here. That can be used for basic divination. I'll probably have to attach a note to this kit on how to do that. But before you cast a spell, you might roll a die and you might get a certain number. And then that number can correspond to your own ideology or different ideas depending on your understanding of the various numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There are different ideas attached to them, and the more that you understand about the magic of numbers, the more you can use a die like this that's in the kit. So, of course, we can experiment with sigils on white paper. If you're gonna make a really a, I wouldn't say a spell card as much as a spell scroll, and you might want to roll it up like a scroll. That when you create a sigil in your own blood on a piece of parchment, you can roll it up, and when you need that manifestation, either in your mind and of course afterwards in reality, you can unroll it, focus on that sigil, breathe deeply while you're focusing on that sigil, and imagine that sigil expanding around you and becoming bigger and bigger and bigger. And you can cast a spell without speaking a word, but you can also write down a spell beneath a sigil, or just a spell in general in your own blood, and you could either burn it. Burning it is a great way to cast the spell, or you can let it sit in a space if it's more of a protective talisman, or maybe even carry it with you if it's a protective talisman in that way. Crown of Success oil, I cannot recommend this stuff enough. I only added what I have left to this kit, which is a whole lot. This Crown of Success oil by Art of the Root, I've used it on, in a lot of candle magic, a lot of anointing, a lot of casting in many regards, and it seems to add a lot of oomph. It seems to add a lot of potential, a lot of manifestation to whatever you're trying to do magically. So I highly recommend that oil. Of course, we have some Lancets, which you can just prick your finger a little bit, and then you don't need a whole lot of blood. You can draw the sigil, or you can write your name upon the spell at the bottom, and then slide your sacred elixir over it, and that ties that spell and that manifestation to you. But like I said, you can also write a spell or write a sigil on a piece of parchment in your own blood and then burn it. It's a great way to cast. So of course, I would like to also say that matches are far more preferable than lighters. There is a participation in lighting a match that doesn't exist for lighters. There is a pure amount of chemicals in matches compared to butane or something like that. So the whole process of lighting matches, as well as the ingredients, really make matches the way you should go when lighting candles or even burning and casting a spell. So this is this is something that I actually, funny enough, discovered just several months ago. This is dragon's blood sage. So it's basically white sage, but soaked in dragon's blood oil. This will really protect a space. If you burn it, and you can smudge yourself, in the front of your body, in the back, smudge room going to the corners, making a circle 3 times in the center of a room. This will purify a room very well. Dragon's blood, I use it all the time. It's great for purification. It's great for not having negative energy or negative spirits really get in the way of your magic. And it's also very, not only does it clear a space, but it protects, and it kind of leaves a nice little tinge to your aura that you carry with you after burning it for a time. All right, so of course we have a Sharpie to kind of experiment on the white paper with sigils, just kind of work through the steps of creating a sigil. And in this book there's some basic techniques that are really useful for creating sigil, like writing out an affirmation. You might do that with this Sharpie onto the white paper. Writing out an affirmation like, I am as focused as an owl. Something like that. It always has to be, it shouldn't be, I want to be as focused as an owl or something like that. It should be, I am as focused as an owl. Has to be an affirmation. I can't stress that enough. Write it all in caps, and I've described this before. Write it all in caps. Get rid of repeating letters. Get rid of vowels. Cross them out. And then whatever you have left, write it in a sequence below that process, and then write it in capital letters as well. So, and then you want to play with those capital letters in making your sigil. But I've described this in other videos, so there's no need to go into depth. And I would like to heavily recommend this book, Practical Sigil Magic by Frater UD. Really great book. It's not a blood magic book, but understanding sigils and even making your own mantras is explained in this. And if you add blood to the sigils that it describes, or add blood to the process, then it makes it that much more potent. So Practical Sigil Magic, very good book if you want to understand sigils and really understand how to craft spells and sigils for your own personal use. Buy that book. Highly recommended. These are all of the things that I have in this beginning blood magic kit. Feel free to post in the comment section, what you would include. I would love to know what you would include. Also, maybe some book recommendations, as well as tools. What tools in your path do you use? Now, of course, I often use an athame to make the cut. I often don't use these lancets, so I did not include an athame in this for obvious reasons. My athame is very personal, and you can't really include it in a kit, but athames are very important as well, and I usually don't prick my finger, but make very small cuts, and they don't have to be big. They can be very small. So if you have any questions, comments, concerns, feel free to let me know in the comment section, or contact me at www.facebook.com/hunter.salazar, HUNTER.SALAZAR. You can message me, you can friend me, what have you. Feel free to ask questions. As long as you're polite, I'm willing to talk with you. I'm willing to work with you. Maybe even do collaborations on podcasts or videos. My podcast that can be found on all podcasting platforms is actually Spirituality and Magic Podcast. I'll go ahead and include a picture. You can find it on all platforms, as I said, Spirituality and Magic Podcast. And I'm on my 5th season, and I'm talking about working with different beings, spirits, what have you, and exactly how to do that, and discussing the aspects of various beings. At any rate, thank you very much for watching. I hope this has been helpful. I hope that you like this kit, and I hope to hear from all of you in the future.